great Caire at height, whose commons from each side came swarming out to war, Campson their guide. Next under Gazal march they that plough the fertile lands above that town which lie up to the place where Nilus, tumbling low, falls from his second cataract from high. The Egyptians weaponed were with sword and bow, no weight of helm or hauberk list they try, and richly armed, in their strong foes no dread of death, but great desire of spoil they breed. The naked folk of Barca these succeed. Unarmed half, Alarcon led that band, that long in deserts lived, in extreme need, on spoils and praise purchased by strength of hand. To battle strong unfit, their king did lead, his army next brought from Zumara land. Then he of Tripoli, for sudden fight and skirmish short, both ready, bold, and light. Two captains next brought forth their bands to show, whom Stony sent in happy Araby, which never felt the cold of frost and snow, or force of burning heat, unless fame lie, where incense pure and all sweet odors grow, where the soul phoenix doth revive, not die, and midst the perfumes rich and flowerets brave, both birth and burial, cradle hath and grave. Their clothes not rich, their garments were not gay, but weapons like the Egyptian troops they had, the Arabians next that have no certain stay, no house, no home, no mansion good or bad, but ever as the Scythian hordes stray, from place to place their wandering cities gad. These have both voice and stature feminine, hair long and black, black face and fiery eyne. Long Indian canes with iron armed they bear, and as upon their nimble steeds they ride, like a swift storm their speedy troops appear. If winds so fast bring storms from heavens wide, by Syphax led the first Arabians were. Aldine the second squadron had no guide, and Abiazar proud brought to the fight the third, a thief, a murderer, not a knight. The islanders came then their prince before, whose lands Arabia's gulf enclosed about, wherein they fish and gather oysters store, whose shells great pearls rich and round pour out. The Red Sea sent with them from his left shore, of negroes grim a black and ugly rout. These Agricult and those Osmita brought, a man that set law, faith, and truth at naught. The Ethiops next, which Meroe doth breed, that sweet and gentle isle of Meroe, twixt Nile and Astrabor, that far doth spread, where two religions are, and kingdoms three. These Asamiro and Canario led, both kings, both pagans, and both subjects be, to the great Caliph, but the third king kept Christ's sacred faith, nor to these wars outstepped. After two kings, both subjects also ride, and of two bands of archers had the charge. The first Soldan of Ormus placed in the wide, huge Persian bay, a town rich, fair, and large. The last of Beacon, which at every tide the sea cuts off from Persia's southern marge, and makes an isle. But when it ebbs again, the passage there is sandy, dry, and plain. Nor thee, great Altamore, in her chaste bed, thy loving queen kept with her dear embrace. She tore her locks, she smote her breast, and shed salt tears to make thee stay in that sweet place. Seem the rough seas more calm, cruel, she said, than the mild looks of thy kind spouse's face? Or is thy shield with blood and dust defiled, a dearer armful than thy tender child? This was the mighty king of Samarcand, a captain wise, well skilled in feats of war, in courage fierce, matchless for strength of hand. Great was his praise, his force was noised far. His worth right well the Frenchmen understand, by whom his virtues feared and loved are. His men were armed with helms and hauberks strong, and by their sides broad swords and maces hung.